Hey everyone, welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome and welcome back to those of you that have already subscribed. To those of you that have not, I would love for you to do so. Today we are making a delicious dessert for your Thanksgiving table. It is going to be a pumpkin and pecan pie. So stay tuned, you don't want to go anywhere.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is...
Okay, so let me also tell you that our Q&A video is coming up really soon. Maybe at the end of this week or the first of next week, and it may be a two-parter. You guys have asked some awesome questions and I can't wait to answer some of them. Some of them are repeats, or some of you may already know the answers to some of them, but we have a lot of new people and I want the ability to share with them the answers to their questions. So you may be hearing some things you already know, but let's forget about that right now and let's get started on this pumpkin pecan pie. Now, I can make a pie crust, but I prefer not to, because the store-bought pie crust have come such a long way that I mean, to me, it's not worth the making it. But I can definitely do that, and I can share that with you someday. But today we're going to use the store-bought, and I just buy store brand. I'm not brand specific pie crust that we're actually going to roll out just a little bit. We're just going to stretch it out just a little bit to make it fit perfectly. So let me get this open, and once I get this opened, I'll slide you back and turn you down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Y'all, I have tried multiple angles so you could see different things, and this is actually just the most convenient angle for me to work. And now let me grab my kitchen scarf real quick. Okay. All right, let's see if I can slide it out. Sometimes I have to open it all the way. All right, let me grab my rolling pin, a little flour on it, and I just want to make it a little bit bigger than what it is. So I'm going to actually push in all directions. Now, this recipe originated from Martha Stewart. Well, I don't know if that's where it originated from, but that's who I saw it. But she did it in form of a tart. Now, there's not a lot of things that intimidate me, but one, I don't have a tart pan, and two, I think I would be nervous if I did have one. So we're going to blind bake this pie crust. Which means I'm going to weight it down. And I'm just kind of going with this. My pie plate has scallops, so I'm not actually even doing anything major to the edges. If you tear it, you just pinch it back together. No big deal, like I just did. Just bring it down, kind of pinch it back. You may have to put a little water on it when you tear it. I think that went back really nicely. And if I have any excess, I'm just kind of folding it down. See right there, I'm gonna just dampen my finger a little bit. Press that in. Okay, and when I say I'm gonna blind bake it, I am gonna take a fork. We're gonna make some pricks because we don't want it bubbling up. So now I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper, and inside that parchment I'm just going to put some dried beans. Okay. So I'm going to stick this in a 375 degree oven for about maybe 20 minutes. I'm going to take it out probably in about 15 minutes, take the beans out, and then let it brown, toast up a little bit. Okay everyone, the pie crust is out of the oven. I have turned the oven up to 425 degrees and we're going to make our filling. I did break off by accident a little edge of the pie crust, but that makes for good nibbling, so that's okay. Alright, so we're going to start with canned pumpkin. Be sure you're getting the pumpkin, pure pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling. So we're going to start with that. A whole 15-ounce can. I think it's 15 ounces. Yes, 15-ounce can. Be sure to get it all. Oh, sorry. I don't have y'all turned down here where you can see what I'm doing. Give me a second. You didn't miss anything. There we go. Alright. So now in here we're going with, I think it's 14 ounce. Let's see. 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. We're basically making a pumpkin pie. That is basically what we're making to begin with. And then we're going to put like a pecan specialty on top. All right. So now let's go in with 2 eggs. Okay. All right. Very good. Let me get my little hand wipe here. Got my hand wipe and I got my towel on. Alright, I'm going to give this a little beat first before I add anything else. I want to get those eggs beaten up well. Okay, so to this I'm going to add just a little pinch of salt. Just a little pinch, nothing major. And I'm going to add in a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now, if this was my sweet potato pie, I would not be adding any spices. But we're going to add in a teaspoon of cinnamon. You can add in, if you wanted to add in the nutmeg or pumpkin pie spice or whatever at this point, you surely could. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of vanilla. I'm going to add in a little bit of vanilla. Oh my goodness. It smells heavenly. All right. So now I'm going to see if I can bring it with our pre-baked pie crust here. And we're just going to pour this filling right in here. Now I did use, as you noticed, I used a deeper pie plate, and that's because we do have a topping to go on it, and I wanted a lot of room for that topping, so that is why. Okay, so this is going to go into a 425 degree oven for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. Some cinnamon. Let it get mixed in there well. And let me be sure I'm getting everything out of here, because I'm not going to lick the bowl. I normally would, but I just had lunch and I have splurged a little here lately, so I'm not going to. Plus I want to taste it when it's done. So, alright. Okay, so I'm going to go back in the oven with this for about 20 minutes at 425. She's going in. Okay, everybody, while it is in the oven baking, let's go ahead and get the topping fixed. Okay, so we're going to start out with 3/4 packed brown sugar. And you could probably use dark. All I have is light, so that's what I'm using. So 3/4 cup, and I have a little chunk. Don't want that in there. That's a chunk of molasses that just kind of solidified in there. So, all right. So that's 3/4. Now we're going to go in with 3 tablespoons of flour. And I have my half here, so we're going to do half, 1, half, 2, half, 3. All right, so let's give that a mixy mix. All right. We're also going to go in with half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I mean, not half a teaspoon, a whole teaspoon of cinnamon, sorry. A whole teaspoon of cinnamon. All right. So here I have 4 tablespoons of salted butter. If I was using unsalted butter, I would add a pinch of salt to this. But since I'm using salted butter, I'm not adding any salt. So we're just going to add that into our little cubes. And we're going to take a fork. I have a regular fork here, but I also have my blending fork next to me. So we're going to see which one. We just want to break this butter up into little pieces. It's good and chilled, that's for sure. Let me try my blending fork. I always turn my bowl kind of over on its side. And sometimes, y'all, I find that the best utensils to do this are my fingers. In fact, I'm going to take my rings off and I'm going in. rings and bracelets. I can kind of take the pieces of butter and squeeze them in my hands and break them up into smaller pieces. Now you don't want to melt them, so don't let them stay in your hands and melt, because you want it to be kind of coarse like. See, hands always work better. It's coming out perfectly now. But in case you're one of those that don't like getting your hands, I kind of like getting my hands into things. You could probably do this in a food processor and pulse it a few times. I just don't like to get out equipment if I don't have to. Okay, so now I'm just looking for any majorly big pieces of butter. Okay. Alright, so now to this topping, we're also going to add in the pecans. We got to add in the pecans. So I have 1.5 cups, pretty much. These came from a friend of mine's yard, and then another friend of mine shelled them for me. And it's pretty much halves, but there are some broken pieces, but that's okay. That is absolutely okay. So we're just going to take these and mix them in with the topping. Alright, and so we're just going to set this aside and wait for the pie to come out of the oven. Then we're going to change our oven temperature one more time, put it back in, and let it bake till this is nice and dark brown. Alright, let me wash my hands. I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, everyone, I've got the pie out. It is not done. It is just starting to set. You can see it starting to set. So I have turned the oven down now. Oh, and also you see this tin foil. I was starting to get kind of the burnt crust around the sides, and I didn't want it to. It still has a long way to go, so I didn't want it to burn anymore. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to take our topping, and you want to be careful sprinkling it, because like I said, that pie is not set. It's just starting to set. So if you clump it, it will sink. Alright, I'm not going to get quite all of it on there. I'm going to pull back my tin foil just a little bit to see those areas I'm not getting. Okay. Alright, she's going back in the oven now for 35 to 40 minutes. I did turn it down to 350. So she is going in. I'll see you back in 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, we're getting ready to get this deliciousness out of the oven. Look at that. Oh, that looks delectable. Okay, everybody. We're going to let it cool for just a minute. Hopefully, well, longer than a minute. This video is actually going to be a little late tonight coming out to you because I'm behind on my videoing. And I've got to let it cool. And then Brad's got to come home and taste it. So, sorry, today's video is going to be late. But it looks absolutely gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is some kind of beautiful. This is probably going to be your family hit, especially if they like pumpkin pie and if they like pecans. This is going to be for those family members. So as soon as Bryant gets here, we're going to give it a try and see what he thinks. So, okay, we'll be back shortly. Okay, everybody, I called him in.
Here we are, everybody.
He's got to run. He's got
a district church meeting.
Yeah, and I just want to say I did cut the pie while it was warm, and that's why it kind of fell apart. But once it cools, it's going to set up, and it's going to be wonderful and look wonderful. It's going to be wonderful anyway because it's warm and ooey and gooey and delicious. So
something's missing.
Milk.
Milk.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Got him some milk.
Back in business.
All right,
Hey.
and you've snuck a bite.
Milk does the body good.
He snuck a bite off camera.
No, I didn't.
While my back was turned.
I didn't. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right, here we go. I can tell you now. I know I like it. No, are those? I don't know what you call them. They're not caramelized. Did you do the sugar on the pecans?
Are you asking if it's a candied pecan?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Redneck terms.
No, I made like a crumb, and I just added the pecans in with it. So they're not actually candied.
But that's good. That gives it a great texture and a great flavor on top of the crust. Very, very good right here. Can't go wrong right here.
All right, there you have it. You need this dessert on your Thanksgiving table.
Yeah, just ignore that piece I knocked off.
And if you're not intimidated by the tart pans, and it's not that I'm intimidated, I just don't have one. I don't have a tart pan, and I don't need any more. Well, there's other gadgets I'd rather have instead of a tart pan. So,
You don't need any more gadgets.
if there's anything that a recipe you want to try, but maybe you don't have all the equipment or certain things about it, try it anyway. Try it in a different way. Try it in a way that you can do. And
what's this called?
I call it a pumpkin pecan pie. A pumpkin pecan pie.
Pumpkin delight. What do you think? What would you guys call it?
The original was a tart, and so it's not actually done in a tart shell. So I just did it as a pumpkin pecan pie. It is delicious, and I can just tell you my house smells amazing. Smells amazing.
A piece of that before you go to bed with a cup of coffee is the bomb.
Now there you're talking my language, not the milk. But you're talking my language when you're talking coffee. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching The Farm and Pastor's Wife. I'm going to clean a couple of last dishes. And I will see you guys next time on The Farm and Pastor's Wife. Remember, the grease is hot enough. You can fry anything. Bye, y'all.